Hello and welcome to the Otaku Network podcast. My name is Steve.
And I'm David.
We are into week 4 of the summer season of 2024. And this week is going to be a little bit different because episode 4 of Shoshimin was delayed by a week. Unfortunately, we don't know if this was due to the Olympics being broadcast or if there are production issues. So next week's episode, we will be reviewing Shoshimin episode 4 and then episode 5 for both Ramen Akaneko and My Deer Friend Nokotan. So, since we will not be talking about Shoshimin, we will jump right away into Ramen Akaneko episode 4.
Which means I get to start the podcast this week. So this week on Ramen Akaneko, we got a series of episodes digging more into the kind of life of the cats. Instead of everything that they're doing at the shop, now it's kind of looking at their personal lives. The first sub-episode of this week, we get a quick little blib where they offer her a shift meal. However, Tamako is kind of hesitant to accept more of the normal ramen that they keep giving her. And at first, the cats are kind of like, is it too much or something? And she kind of admits that she's put on a little weight and was hoping for something a little lighter. Because she is still very grateful that they give her shift meals. It's just she wants something a little lighter so that she doesn't keep putting on weight. So they end up sharing a meal all together where Bunzo makes them all a collective soup that all of them can eat, cat and human alike. And it's a lot lighter. It's made with vegetable broth and chicken and some vegetables that are safe for cats to eat. And they all enjoy a meal together. And we kind of just get this wholesome scene where they're all eating and enjoying each other's company. Then the next episode quickly goes to later in that day, and they have her getting ready for the late shift. However, she had to stay so much longer, she didn't really see a point in going home. Because she only has this 2-hour downtime, they're like, you can just stay with us, have your downtime here. And she ends up going and sitting down after agreeing, and is on her phone at first, which wakes up Krishna, who encourages her to come and snuggle with her. She ends up falling asleep, being cuddled by this giant tiger. Her whole 2-hour break time, she just ends up taking a 2-hour nap. And Hana and Krishna jolt her awake. She starts profusely apologizing. That episode kind of ended. And then we had the episode with Sabu staying up super late and playing video games. And we finally get to see the upstairs of the ramen shop. And it looks like just a typical apartment. A lot of it looks unpacked. And then we get to see that Sabu has this crazy gaming setup. And that's all he has in his room. Is at least what it looks like. He fell asleep, stayed up really late. That's the first time that you actually see any of them hiss at anything, because she startles him awake and he hisses at her. And then immediately realizes oh my God, I stayed up way too late and I overslept. Runs, profusely apologizes to Bunzo, and then I fell asleep and didn't watch the Daily Akanekos.
The rest of that episode is, I think it was started by Sasaki. So Sabu starts talking about how he is going to be entering into a gaming tournament soon with the FPS that he plays.
Oh, that's right, because him and Tamako start talking about liking the FPS.
Yeah.
They both like the same FPS, and he's practicing for a general entry tournament. And Sasaki overhears this, panics, and goes to Bunzo, or goes to Hana, tells Hana. Hana goes to Bunzo in this game of telephone. And it comes out that they think that because Sabu is participating in this tournament, that he wants to become a professional gamer and to leave the ramen shop. And they're all like, we don't want to hold you back. We want you to, follow your dreams and everything. And Sabu's just like, no. I just want to play in this just play in this tournament. I don't want to leave the ramen shop. And Bunzo's like, no. If you want to do this, follow your dreams. I'm encouraging you to follow your dreams. And it was just this big open miscommunication that was pretty entertaining to watch. And overall, the episode was pretty adorable.
I feel that the show really does serve itself better when it has a number of shorter story points that it's trying to hit, instead of just doing a long, drawn-out 10, 15-minute story arc. I feel that the pacing of the show is a lot more palatable, and we get to see more interesting angles relating to the shop and the cats.
I feel the short episodes really play well into how this show is designed. It doesn't have a huge overarching story, but the stories are linked to each other. Like they made reference back to the streamer increasing their popularity. They also referenced back to the fourth episode was the specialty ramen and how they made a half-sized portion of it for somebody, and that they want to make half-sized portions.
The half-sized portions of the
Specialty.
Of the special, the Ramen Akaneko special. Yeah, figuring that if they have a half-sized portion, they can sell more because it's not going to be as expensive. And then,
yeah,
Sasaki's eyes gleamed when he started thinking about the potential profit earnings from doing that move.
With that creepy smile, that like, and I'm like, oh. Also,
capitalist cat is going to capitalist.
Also, adorable cat in a pea coat.
Yeah, he came back from a meeting with the people at City Hall wearing a pea coat,
I thought it was the Chamber of Commerce.
Whatever. He went to the city government or whatever. One of the daily Akanekos was him explaining that they won't let cats in municipal buildings if they're not wearing clothing because they'll just mistake them for stray cats instead of actually being there on business. I don't remember the rest of the daily Akaneko though. The first one was Sabu debating about taking off Tamako's glasses when he saw her sleeping snuggled up with Krishna. When she woke up in that part and he was handing her glasses, the way the art looked is it looked like her glasses were broken. So I'm like, oh, they're going to do a plot line where she's got to like panic mode because she can't see. And then they didn't. And I was relieved because I hate those storylines.
Jinkies, I can't see without my glasses.
They're so played out.
It's almost like it happened every week on Scooby-Doo.
Right. Haunted by Scooby-Doo. Oh, let's see. I wonder how many of those cats are related to each other.
I don't know.
Obviously, Krishna's not probably more than likely related to any of them for obvious reasons.
Not Krishna's related to all of them. Her and Bunzo.
It was good. I think the show definitely works better in shorter segments just because there really is no plot.
Right.
So it doesn't matter.
It's staying very consistent. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's a nice, because I watch it in order where it's Shoshimin, then Ramen Akaneko, then My Deer Friend Nokotan.
Same.
And it's really nice to go from super serious Shoshimin to Ramen Akaneko where it's like silly but not crazy.
It's lighthearted and realistic.
Yes. And then it just goes to the utter insanity of My Deer Friend Nokotan. And so we ordered them really nice this season.
Yeah. Not intentionally. It's just kind of the way it felt.
Yeah, just the way the cookies crumbled. We got lucky where it was like super serial, and then lighthearted but real, and then utter insanity.
Speaking of insanity, episode 4 of My Deer Friend Nokotan does not begin with Koshtan heading to school in the morning. In fact, it actually picks up with her ending her school day and overseeing her duties as the president of the student council. So this is where we're introduced to the 3 girls that we saw peering ominously into the Deer Club's window at the end of the last episode. Neko Yamada, she's the vice president. She's the mastermind behind trying to bring the downfall of Koshtan.
And the Deer Club.
Yeah, she wants to destroy the Deer Club, but it's really a matter of she wants to destroy Koshtan because she feels that she shouldn't have lost the president's position during the previous election and just kind of has a lot of spite for Koshtan. If only she knew that Koshtan is an ex-delinquent, because according to Koshtan's fear, that would destroy her entire existence as a model and respected high school student. So Koshtan is very unaware of Neko Yamada's plot, but Neko Yamada is definitely not benevolent towards Koshtan.
She is very just out the gate.
She's aggressive.
Yeah. And it's like passive aggressive, but almost to the point of just straight up aggression.
But Koshtan just finds her cute and endearing because of how goddamn short she is.
And that she has a step stool.
She carries a foldable step stool with her. So the other 2 members of the student council, I do not remember what their positions are. Tanuki Koji, is a very dramatic girl.
Oh, so fucking dramatic.
At the slightest thought that she's caused an error, she's ready to commit honorable seppuku.
Did you like the Nuremberg trials that she imagined would happen?
Where she thought because she had collated some printouts wrong, and Koshtan pointed it out to her, and then she lost all semblance of reality and figured that this would be if word of this mistake had gotten out to the first year students, this would have essentially led to a criminal trial.
Yeah, like the rebellion of the first years, and then a Nuremberg-esque trial committee.
Yeah, to find guilt and accountability with at least Koshtan.
Yeah, and then Tanuki Koji was like, and then I'll commit honorable seppuku to at least
to bring honor back to my family and my name.
Yeah, and she even said to Koshtan, she would commit seppuku to bring even a small amount of honor back to Koshtan.
Koshtan's like, that you don't have to go that far. I'm concerned for your well-being. Tsubumeya, on the other hand, is no better described than cool dere. She is emotionless, apathetic, barely responsive.
She has a dark secret.
Koshtan gets out of the student council duties and heads off to the Deer Club, where everybody has been eagerly awaiting her, to horrifically find that Tsubumeya is already there.
Because she did invite her.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forget what the exact specifications of the exchange was, but Koshtan offered an olive branch that she felt she needed to extend because of how the coldness that was being directed towards her from Tsubumeya, if she wanted to join the Deer Club. But the reaction was nothing, so she isn't sure. She had a hard time dealing with the response from Tsubumeya. She gets to the Deer Club only to find Tsubumeya there, and then freaks out because now she's not going to be able to relax, and she's going to have to keep pretending to be this idyllic student for fear of her dark secret coming out.
She immediately pulls Shikanoko aside.
She pulls Shikanoko aside and is like, you need to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Don't say anything or else this is all going to crumble. Koshtan's sister and then Bashime start to be their idiotic selves, and Koshtan freaks out and just boots them straight out of the club room for the night.
Literally see them go flying.
At which point, Nokotan pulls a Spaceballs and legitimately real-time references episode 3 on her laptop. The whole portion where Nokotan was trying to convince what was really a deer to transform back into Shikanoko.
And she also was...
The first thing was showing her trying to pull the deer, but really, was drawn to look like she was...
Humping the deer.
And the dialogue after that, when they were talking about it, it definitely lets us know that all of this was intentional and done in a way to make us think it was sexual. So it wasn't just a gaffe. It was, no, intentionally done to look sexual.
Yeah.
To continue a joke, a punchline.
Nokotan pointed out.
Correct.
It's meant to be sexual.
Yes.
Because Nokotan is the fucking Deadpool of this show. Actually, Nokotan and Koshtan are both Deadpool.
Correct. To make matters worse, Nokotan decides that she's going to welcome the new potential member by burying her in deer crackers.
Which made her happy. Which
made her incredibly ecstatic. Like she had been given the best gift of her entire life. And then it became a competition between who can make...
Basically, who can be the better senpai.
Yeah, for Tsubumeya.
Because...
Between Koshtan and Nokotan.
Because oh boy is Koshtan obsessed with making sure that her kohai love her.
Well, no, I think it's because she wants to keep her on the good side.
Right.
But because she doesn't want to have her facade be destroyed from improper actions or annoying somebody that may be able to take her down for realistic or artificial means. In the end, though, everything was irrelevant because we find out that Tsubumeya loves both of them, is absolutely obsessed with Nokotan.
But also has a deep found respect for Koshtan.
Yeah, has an incredible amount of respect for Koshtan. But the entire reason she was so cold towards her, I mean, she's just a cool character regardless.
Yeah.
But the reason she was so antagonistically cold towards Koshtan is because she was jealous of how freely Koshtan can engage and interact with Nokotan.
Yes.
She wants to be at that level of comfort.
She was like a little jealous that Koshtan is so comfortable with Nokotan, but she's like, I don't mean to be cold to Koshtan.
Yep.
But she's like, I love Nokotan. Nokotan senpai is just amazing. And she like gets home, slams the door, does the like anime girl like lean against the door like, oh, Nokotan senpai. And you're just like, Jesus Christ.
So the second half,
it's really a nice kind of foil for Koshitan's sister like loving her to death and having Tsubumeya love Nokotan. Not to the level that Koshitan's younger sister loves her, but it's kind of a foil in a way.
So the second half is Tanuki Koji interacting with the Deer Club.
Oh yeah, because they get locked in a gym shed.
Koshtan is helping Tanuki Koji do some inventory in the gym storage room. Koshtan brings up the tried and true slice of life / romance anime trope where the couple gets locked into the shed and then romance happens. So of course, because that's just how the rules of this anime works, they get locked in there.
Yeah, they spoke it into existence.
Tanuki Koji starts doing it overboard and is
Panics like a motherfucker.
yet again ready to end her life.
Well, she's not ready to kill herself, but she goes through this whole tirade about how like people are going to forget about us and then panic will set in as we waste away here for weeks and weeks and months, and then we'll die, and then we'll become ghosts that haunt the school, and then they'll make a terrible show about us.
This kind of spurs Koshtan into action, and she starts trying to get somebody's attention when she hears noise outside. It ends up being Nokotan. Nokotan is in her own world imagining a musical number instead of
Thinking about her deer crackers.
Yeah, instead of paying attention to what's going on around her.
It's no surprise that Nokotan got caught on that wire.
No. And I forget how they get out of the storage room. Just somebody just opens the door, right?
No, Nokotan does.
That's right. Nokotan opens the door because she's coming there because she's trying to check on her mushrooms that she's been growing in there in secret. The place where she's growing them
is where
Tanuki
Koji's hiding.
Tanuki Koji is hiding. And then Nokotan like pretty much is about to just destroy the younger girl, thinking that she's there to steal her illicitly grown mushrooms.
She calls her a thief, and then Koshitan delicately reminds Nokotan that she's illegally growing those mushrooms.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the Deer Club.
Yeah, no. We cut to the student council room.
Oh.
Where the only person that's there is Neko Yamada, and she has no idea what's going on and wonders where everybody is and why she's all by herself.
All at the Deer Club. Because it does show a scene of all of them at the Deer Club.
Yeah, we've got a post-credits scene.
No, it's pre-credits. Yeah, it shows.
That's right.
All of them at the Deer Club.
Everybody's hanging out at the Deer Club.
And then it cuts to
Neko Yamada wondering where everybody is.
And then it cuts to Neko Yamada wondering where everybody is.
It was an amusing episode. It
was a very amusing episode.
So weird.
The jokes were coming at a very nice, consistent pace. The
fourth wall breaking was
it was phenomenal. Superb.
This episode may have had some of the best comedic timing.
Yeah, the comedic timing was on point. I caught myself chuckling so much and laughing so hard at certain scenes, like the whole gym shed scene.
Yeah.
Had me rolling.
Especially harken back to last week when I was showing you the second episode of Makiene.
I kept thinking about that episode the entire time that scene was happening. I was like, this is a trope that happens a lot.
It is definitely a trope that happens a lot.
And I was just like, it fits.
I'll have to show you the anime today in class 5-2. There is a fantastically amusing getting locked in the gym locker episode.
I think we've seen a couple other animes.
Oh, no, it's in a lot of anime. It is definitely a very common thing. Just like it's almost as common as the beach episodes, I would say.
Fair. Getting locked in confined places for an amount of time.
No, it's really
anime because it even happened in Astronaut.
It's really you're correct.
And they got locked in the basement.
They couldn't necessarily do it in a gym storage room because they're not high school students or middle school students. I was a little disappointed that we couldn't see another episode of Shoshimin.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the episode is like next week as our schedule gets a little wonky, but it is what it is. This week's episode of Ramen Akaneko was, it keeps getting stronger with each episode.
Yeah.
And I think a large part of that is due to a combination of familiarity with the characters and the concept and the execution of it, and then the increased amount of segments that are within a single episode.
Yes. I wonder if they're going to keep increasing.
I don't think, I can't see them. That would be untenable.
It matches the episode number.
No.
I mean, it has so far.
It has, but by episode 12, we're not going to have 12 different cuts.
Yes, let's have 12 shorts. It's just like
It'll just
minute
be like
long.
It'll truly be a 4-panel manga translated into an anime, 4 panels at a time.
Exactly.
The artwork is bad. There were the segment where there were the 2 women, where the one woman ended up ordering the half version of it. The CG, the 3D CG that's used to do the character design or character animation is not the best work I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, the animation quality is weak, but I try not to let that detract too much.
It just looks so it looks amateurish.
Yeah, but
which is unfortunate.
I've also seen worse.
Nokotan, again, this was a great episode. I absolutely loved the blatantly referencing of episode 3, and then expanding upon and pointing out the fact that yes, this is supposed to be a sex joke.
Yeah, like, no, you were right, sex joke. Overall, I just think it was a really good episode. It was really well paced for what we were getting. The jokes were consistent. It kept up. There was a lot of great setup where it just seems like they teed off some really good jokes, especially with Tanuki Koji and Koshitan being locked in the gym shed.
In the gym building, yeah.
And it's just like every time Koshitan would say something, Tanuki Koji's just like, we're gonna die.
You know what? I have to admit it. I groaned a little bit when we did a prolonged musical segment that was inside of Nokotan's head as she wandered by the gym storage room when Koshitan was trying to get her attention. I'm like,
to be fair, Koshitan also groaned when she did the extended musical number in her head because there was no payoff for it. No. She pointed that out.
True.
It was very much a fourth wall break.
Yeah. I like the fact that they keep introducing all of these characters and they all just keep falling under the spell of the deer.
100 years of Deer, baby.
100 years of Deer. Anything else?
No, I think this week was pretty solid.
Is that because Shoshimin didn't air this week?
Don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's kind of mean.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love Shoshimin. It's my favorite anime. Totally not.
Ramen Akaneko was good. It progressively gets better. And Nokotan is just
top notch.
Plays to the beat of its own drum.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thanks once again for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, spread the word, drop comments.
Check out our new Discord.
Yeah, that's right. We have a Discord now due to us completely forgetting about it and a viewer who wanted to discuss more in depth the intricacies of Shoshimin with us. So we've got a Discord. You can find the links URL to join into it on the end card with all the other places you can find us. So thanks again, and we will see you next week.